So we're going to be working here with the hamstrings. The hamstrings are really important because they can often have tightness here, will create tension up through the lower spine and of course later on down through the knee and perhaps down even into the foot. So we're going to start with that ball right between both sit bones so you can feel that separation between the two bones. And allow yourself to lengthen up and away from the ball. So your sit bones sink down and around the ball as the rest of your spine, your torso lengthens upwards. And you're going to bring that ball over to one side and let the ball sink right through the center of that sit bone. Pull the heel away. Traction out through the heel as you let that ball sink into the bone. Take a breath. Let it sink a little bit more. And then we're going to roll around that bone, stimulating all four sides, the front, the back, the left, the right. This is nothing really quick. You want to take your time here. Change direction, the front, the back, the left, the right, liberating all of those connections around that sit bone. Those connections that tend to pull the pelvis forward and then come back to the center. Pull out through the heel and take another breath in. As you exhale, you're going to let that ball come right down. It should feel a nice little cavity. There's a little hole. There's a little space between the sit bone and the femur bone. Let it sink. Feel that ball melting through muscle, tendon, ligament up into bone as you keep traction through the heel. If you have the flexibility here, you can lengthen out and over that leg. If you feel it pulling through the lower spine, don't do it. Just keep the spine straight. Exhale, let that ball roll down about mid-thigh and let it sink. Keep tractioning out through the heel. Keep your spine nice and long. Breathing in, breathing out. Let that ball roll down a little bit more. Let it sink through the muscle into the bone. If you understand cross-fibering here, you can do cross-fibering as well. If not, don't worry about it. Just work from sit bone to knee. Take a breath. Let that ball sink. Keep the spine long. Exhale, let that ball roll down a little bit more. Take your time. Keep tractioning through the heel. Keep yourself out of your ears. Lift up through the sternum. Take another breath in. Exhale, let that ball sink to bone and then roll it just to the back of the knee. Once you get there to that knee, you can take your forearm and press into the leg so you get some more pressure into that hamstring and traction the knee out and away from the femur bone. Next, exhale, bring that ball just behind the knee. So you're right there behind the curve of the knee and you're going to pull tibia and femur bone away from one another to create space through that knee joint. Take a few breaths and just let that open as you traction up through the heel and you traction out away on either side with your hands to open that knee. And then just sit and feel the difference between one side and the other. And do the other side.